Imagine a world where the clatter of horse hooves and the distant echo of war cries signal a looming nightmare. This isn't a scene from a medieval fantasy, but a harsh reality for many in Eastern Europe during a period largely forgotten in the annals of history. Today, we delve into the harrowing story of the Crimean Tatar slave raids, a saga that reshaped lives and left an indelible mark on history. Our journey begins in the 15th century with the rise of the Crimean Khanate, a formidable state under the Ottoman Empire's influence. Here an economy thrives, but it's one built on the backs of enslaved people. The primary targets? Christian territories of Eastern Europe, a region rich in resources but more crucially in human lives ripe for the taking. The Crimean Tatars, skilled in cavalry warfare, turned these lands into their hunting grounds. The method of these raids was not random. It was a calculated terror. The Tatars, exploiting their mastery of swift horseback raids, would descend upon unsuspecting villages and towns, striking fear and chaos, and leaving with a bounty of captives in their wake. Let's grasp the scale of these raids. It's estimated that over the course of 3 centuries, up to 3 million people were torn from their homes. The infamous 1571 Tatar raid on Moscow, for instance, resulted in the capture of tens of thousands. Yes, the Russian capital of Moscow was itself looted, and almost all of its population burned alive or enslaved. These numbers aren't just statistics, they represent individual lives, families shattered, communities devastated. The impact is monumental. Economies collapse, populations dwindle, and a pervasive sense of fear haunts the region. Eastern Europe becomes a landscape scarred by the horrors of these incursions. The memory of Tatar raids lingers long in the cultural psyche, influencing folklore, art and literature. What becomes of those captured? A life in chains, uncertainty and despair. Many are sold in bustling slave markets of Crimea and beyond. Others face a fate of servitude in the Ottoman Empire. Men, women and children, once free, now find themselves in a world where their fate is no longer their own. Yet in the face of such despair, human resilience shines through. The regions affected slowly awaken to resistance, fortifications rise, militias form, and a spirit of defiance grows. The 17th century sees a gradual pushback against the Tatar incursions. The turning point comes in the 18th century. Russia's annexation of Crimea in 1783 marks the beginning of the end for these massive slave raids. It's a pivotal moment that not only halts the Tatar incursions, but also starts to close this dark chapter in history. And today this period remains overshadowed, often lost amid the grand narratives of European history.